Tesla drop is continuing. We are still into a downward channel. So this is the pattern. The pattern is Tesla should be going down unless it breaks these two downward seller resistance. Now, yesterday, we came very close to a previous buyer support. We came close to a buyer support at 217.65. And as I explained yesterday, when a stock is getting close to a buyer support, then the stock can stop a little bit on it and then rebound on it, or just stop a little bit on it and then continue further down. But Tesla right here yesterday did not really stop for it. We stopped close to it and we just continued through today. So Tesla is down $3.73, 1.7%, closed at 215.49. Post-market, we seem to be up a little bit. So the fact that we have a green candle today after having 3 red candles for the past 3 days means that we are finding some buyers that have been winning a little bit during the day against the sellers. During the past 3 days, we did not have that. We had red candles, so it means that the sellers were bulldozing on the buyers. The sellers were more powerful. Now, today, we are seeing a little bit of a move up. Let's go take a look at the 1-hour chart to understand how this was played today. The first candle of the day is right here. This is a green candle. We opened at 214, which is lower than 217.65. Our buyer support I was talking about earlier. We opened lower but then finished higher during the first hour. Second hour, we started to go down and we even broke another buyer support that we had at 213.20 on the 1-hour chart. We can have different support and resistance on the 1-hour chart because it is a more detailed chart. This is why we have additional lines. So 213.20 was broken during the second hour. This was a little bit of an indication that Tesla would be going even lower. But lo and behold, on the third hour, we started to go back up. And now we are basically standing still and just going sideways. What could be happening right now is that this intraday support at 213.20 could be acting as a double support on the daily chart. So if I go back on the daily chart, we had this little bit of a support right here at 213, and this is what has stopped Tesla at least today. We don't know if it is going to continue down next week, but if Tesla had been stronger, we would have bounced on 217.65. That's for sure. So next stop after having broken 217.65, next stop is going to be this buyer support right here. So buyers have been coming into Tesla on a regular basis since the beginning of the year. And this is the slope at which they are acting on the stock. So in January, we see that the stock had a nice move and we called this buy signal right here at the time. So Tesla had a nice move up. And then it started to come back down and it came back down right here and made a second low. This was the first low here. It made a second low on April 27. This is what gave us the slope of the bullish channel that we are now following. So this is the slope of the bullish channel. And look at how precisely we have been tracking that bullish support. This is pretty textbook perfect. And then we had another nice move. Another big move that we jumped in with this yellow arrow and we rode that one out. And then after the earnings, the stock came back down. And now we are getting very close to the same buyer support that has been in play since the beginning of the year. This is not insignificant. This is not insignificant. This is a very important line. So we are going to be testing that line most likely next week. So we are going to check if we are going to respect that line and start hovering above it and not going through it. If we go through it, it would mean that this bullish channel is no longer relevant and we are going to need to rely on other patterns, most likely this current downward pattern that is going to continue. It's not time to buy Tesla at all. It's not time to buy Tesla, even if it rebounds a little bit on this buyer support right here. It does not mean much until we are breaking this downward trend. So this is a downward trend. Until we are going to break this downward trend, I would not touch Tesla at all. If we start breaking this, then we are going to start considering it depending on the risk that you are willing to take. If it breaks this downward channel, it will mean that Tesla has been de-risked a little bit. If stochastic goes over 60, this is going to be another de-risking criteria. And then depending on the pattern right here, if we break back above 217.65, that might be the third de-risking criteria that we might need before deciding that we need to get back into Tesla. So nobody knows what is going to happen with Tesla next week, but we have our criteria. We have our stakes in the sand, and we know that if the stock goes beyond our stake in the sand, we are going to take action. We don't need to predict when this is going to happen. We check the stock market every single day and we place our milestones, and when they are crossed, we can act. Let's look briefly at the indicators. So stochastic at 5, MACD is still bearish. We have RSI, which is telling us that Tesla is overbought, and DMI also pretty bearish. Okay, let's take a look at the VIX. So VIX is coming down a little bit. So down 0.61, that's 3.41%. Closed at 17.29. We have a little bit of weakening on the VIX. It went pretty high during the day. This had some impact on the stock market, but then it was pulled down. So this is just basically going sideways. We still have stochastic above 60 right here. So we are still in an uptrend. And we are also, of course, part of our bullish channel. But for people that are long, it is better that VIX is going sideways than continuing its way up. Let's take a look at Rivian. So Rivian is pretty much also going sideways. So we are down 17 cents, closed at 20.78. We have support at 2016, and we might be reaching the other side of the bearish channel, but we are still in a bearish channel. Xpeng is continuing down 67 cents, 4.28%, closed at 14.98. Xpeng had stabilized during the past 5 days, pretty much above 15.57, except on Wednesday. But now this is even worse. We have broken 2 horizontal support, and more importantly, we have broken our bullish channel. Channel has been broken. Yes, this is a green candle, so maybe this is a fluke. It sometimes happens that we have one candle that goes outside a line and then it comes back. Most of the time, lines are very well respected. Look at how perfect this is. Perfect touches on one single line. This is almost like cheating. But it happens sometimes that we have one rogue candle that goes away and then things come back up. We should pay attention for that. If somebody wants to short this stock, I would wait until we are breaking lower than 13.53. This would prevent shorting on a rogue candle. NIO continuing its way down, down 83 cents, 7.22%, closed at 10.67. This one is just gone. This one is just gone. We had barely stayed above 11.32 during the past 2 days, but now we just went right through it. There are no buyers to prop this stock up. The sellers are just selling, and getting rid of their stock, and the buyers are too afraid to buy. Let's see if the buyers that were there at 10.21 in July are still there or not. So we are going to get that answer sometimes next week. Palantir. So Palantir is up 25 cents, closed at 14.40. We had some buyer support at 14.41, and now we are just 1 cent below. This is a nice play. We had some buyers that came in today, but we are still into our downward channel, so this is not the time to buy yet. And also, we made a lower high and a lower low compared to yesterday. Yes, this is a green candle, but overall, in terms of the pattern, this is still going down. Nvidia is down 44 cents, closed at 432.99. This one is still into its downward channel. As I said, it's a very slow downward channel, but it's still going down. We should let it finish going down and stabilizing horizontally, and then showing us signs that it wants to go back up in order to consider it a buy again. So we have a earnings call next Wednesday, so maybe things are going to change by that date or before that date, but we are going to see it as it changes pattern if it does. Let's take a look at our indices quickly. So QQQ It's still a down day. It's a green candle, but overall, we are still going down. So we are still above 357.63. We are down 0.13%. That's not a big number in terms of the close. What is worse is the lower high and the lower low, and closed at 358.13. Dow Jones, we are up $25.83, closed at 34,567. So this is a green candle, but again, we still made a lower high and a lower low. SPX is down 65 cents, closed at 43.69. It is getting close to stabilize at 43.24. Nasdaq Composite, we are down $25.16, closed at 13.290. And this one is really stabilizing nicely, at least today, on 13,187. We are still in a downward channel. It could stabilize and then go on the other side of the bullish channel and then continue down afterwards. Bonds are caving in to 4.33%, which was the all-time high. We caved in yesterday. We could not go higher than that today. Let's look at gold. Gold up 4 cents at 14.75. Nothing new here. This is just going down. Silver is stabilizing. That's a little bit different. Closed at 7.78. We still have support at 7.70. So we have people that are willing to buy silver and not let it go down. So the tug of war between the buyers and sellers on silver is pretty much even. This is why the stock is going sideways. Whereas for the gold, it's really the sellers that are driving the price down. Bitcoin had a big drop yesterday and today also. So we are down almost 2% at 26,113. If we break lower than 25,247, that could get ugly. So this is the last drop. This is an important milestone for Bitcoin. Ripple is going down a little bit. We see a little bit of support at 0.47. US dollar wanting very much to break 103,580. Look at the power of that line. This line right here is really powerful. We tried to break it on June 30th. We tried to break it on July 6th. And we tried to break it since August 14th. We have been trying for the past 5 days and we cannot break it. This is a psychological resistance that are preventing buyers in mass to go through that resistance. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you for liking, commenting, subscribing. If you like what I do, you can become a YouTube member. Click on my TradingView affiliate link. I'm going to wish you a great weekend. We are going to talk on Monday, unless you are a member, in which case we are also going to have a live on Sunday, which is reserved for my members. But you can become a member very easily for a low price. So I'm going to wish you a great weekend. We are going to talk tomorrow and I'm going to tell you à la prochaine.